Hello again, it's Miss Rachel from the Antioch Public Library Children's Department. I'm here today with an exciting STEM project that you can do outside. I'm recording it in my kitchen because it's very difficult to record video outside without picking up all the outdoor noises. However, I strongly recommend that you start this project outside since we are making sidewalk chalk paint and you don't want to be carrying your paint from inside to outside while it's wet. So what we're going to be using today is cornstarch and water and a little bit of food coloring. You're going to want an even mixture of cornstarch and water. I'm only using 1 cup of each, but I'm going to recommend that you use 2 cups of each because it creates a lot more paint and you'll get to do a lot more fun activity outside if you have the larger amount to start with. So you mix the water and the cornstarch together in a bowl. You just stir it up until it's nice and mixed together. Now I have made this recipe twice and I've discovered that it works best if you use warm water to start with instead of cold or room temperature water. And what you're going to do is just mix it up until it's nice and liquidy, which will take a little while, a minute or two. And I'm just going to keep stirring and stirring until it gets to the texture that you want. Should be a little bit thinner than glue, but essentially glue-like. So you're basically making your regular slime mixture of cornstarch and water. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pour it into some cups or muffin tins or some other container so that you can separate it out and make your different colors. And what you're going to use for that is regular old food coloring. And this makes fantastic paint that's a little bit thinner than watercolor or maybe a little bit thicker depending on how much cornstarch you've got there. And you're going to have it all mixed up like I've got here. And you're going to take your liquid and you're going to pour it into your cups or muffin tins, and you want to be very careful while you're doing this so that we don't spill. And this is why you're going to be building outside, so that if you do spill, it gets outside instead of all over your nice kitchen table or anywhere else in your house. And you want an equal amount of white goop in each of your containers. As you can see here, using 1 cup water and 1 cup of cornstarch makes about 6 little containers of paint, which is great for one child, but if you have more than one kid or you want them to be busy for a little bit longer, you're going to want to use a little bit more cornstarch and water. Just make sure that the mixtures are even amounts of both ingredients. Then you're going to take your food coloring and you're going to squirt it into the containers. And you want to do this one at a time so that your colors settle nicely. You mix it up. You're not going to be able to see this down here because my camera's up a little bit too high, but when I'm done, I will move the camera over so that you can see all the different colors of paint I've created. And while you can paint with this equipment, you can make it. It looks great. You may also want to let it sit out to dry so that you'll have solid chalk. That will work as well, but it takes a very long time. I left mine sitting out for 36 hours and it's still a little bit wet. So I'm going to recommend again that you use this with paintbrushes outside as soon as you're done mixing it up. And that way you have a nice long activity to keep your kids busy outdoors for the whole afternoon. First you make the paint, then you paint with it, then you might want to get rid of it and you can just clean it up with regular old water. You can use your hose. You might want to let it sit there until the next time it rains. It will come off with just regular water. So if you wait for rain or you clean it up with your hose or a bucket of water, it'll be gone right away. And it will not leave any stains on your driveway or in your backyard patio, wherever you're using it, sidewalk. All good. So now I'm mixing up my purple. I've mixed some red and blue. And this is going to look very dark, but when you paint with it, it's this very nice sort of lavender color. This is still a little bit dark, so I'm going to add just a bit more red to lighten it up, although that does not work as well as you would hope, because once it's too dark, your choices are not as good. But it is lightening just a little bit, which is good. And you just keep stirring until you get the color the way you want it. Here we go. That's a nice purple right there. That was all I needed. And the first one is red. The second one I made is purple. You add some blue to the white, and now you'll have blue paint for your sidewalk. And once you've taken care of that, and then you just keep mixing your colors, whatever you like, and it'll come out. And I have my finished project over here to show you in just a second. I want to finish stirring up this one, and then as soon as I'm done, I will show you what the different colors look like once they've started to dry, which is what they will look like when they're done being painted on the sidewalk. So this is the finished project that I have. As you can see, it is finally dry. It's been about 48 hours now. I know I said 36 earlier, and that's what it was this morning when I started looking at it, but now it's quite a few hours later, and I have patted it dry with paper towel. So that's what it looks like if you let it sit out for 2 days and it dries, and then you can draw with the dry chalk on the sidewalk, or you can use your paints, and they will look just like this, and that'll work as regular sidewalk paint. You want to take some paintbrushes and just go to town with this stuff. It's fantastic. So have fun, and please send us some pictures of the paintings you make outside with our paint chalk.